Welcome back to the Last Week This Week podcast, episode 98. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zach Huber.
And this is the podcast where we talk about film and TV topics from the last week, get into you all this week. And this week we got an exciting trailer and some Marvel and DC topics to go over with you guys.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that cryptic, symmetry, whatever clue image that Joe Russo posted about the Avengers Doomsday set. We are also going to talk about our theories about who the Batman Part 2 villain might be. We also are going to talk about some of the comments that James Gunn has been making regarding the future of the DCU, regarding Peacemaker and GI Robot, as well as, I guess, going into the end, the finale of season 2 coming out. And then we get some details on the upcoming James Bond movie that's going to be directed by Denis Villeneuve. So we'll get into all of that. But the first thing that we're going to talk about is the first Star Wars trailer, first Star Wars movie trailer in
6 years, 7 years,
7 years, which is the Jon Favreau directed Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is coming out next.
I think May 20th next year, something like that.
You'd know better than me, but sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So Mandalorian and Grogu, a continuation of the TV show, The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I think what we're hearing is that this was made in favor of season 4. You know, like instead of making a season 4, they're like, let's do a movie instead. So I don't know if we'll ever get a season 4 of The Mandalorian. This might be what we're getting from now on. It's just movies. Because I think I also heard that if this does well, we'll get like possibly 2 more movies attached to this, right?
I think the plan was having like a kind of like a trilogy of sorts.
Right. But I think they're like adapt. Like if it doesn't do well, then like this is just a one-off, right? I mean,
right.
So, but to be honest, I wasn't expecting a lot. I love a trailer that's just like purely vibes and not like a lot of storytelling, and that was this. And there's like I don't think there's any dialogue in this whole trailer.
There's some dialogue.
Is there?
Yeah, a little.
Okay.
A little.
But yeah, I mean, you know, one of the first things that we see in this trailer is that we get the Razor Crest back. Which is very puzzling, I think. A weird direction for them to go in, since they just had a whole episode about building a new ship, you know?
Right. Which does make me question when this movie is taking place, potentially.
It's gotta be.
I could be.
I mean,
gotta be after season 3.
It has to be, right? I mean, like Star Wars already does a lot of like weird timeline stuff where they're just like jumping all over the place, and like for them to do it again with inside the Mandalorian, I just don't think it works. You know?
Well, I would be frustrated if they did that, to say the least. So you know, when the trailer got announced, there was also like a poster that came out with it. And it was very 1940s movie poster. And I gotta say, I didn't like it. It made me worried. I did not like this 1940. I know it's calling back to like a serialized time where
like a Western.
Yeah, like a Western, and also like kind of calling back to like, if you're looking for adventure, this is the way, and all that. Right. I don't know. I don't know. It came off to me as like a little bit forced, personally.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not impressed by this trailer.
You know,
I'm not excited by this trailer.
You're not alone. I mean, like, there's the majority opinions I've been seeing online is that like this isn't anything exciting for anybody. But I felt differently, weirdly. Like, I don't know, like I said, I love a trailer based on vibes, and like this trailer was like a lot of like cool like ship action. You had some cool like Din Djarin action, and I don't know, it gives you that like that feeling of Star Wars again. I don't know, you have the music of the Mandalorian going throughout it. Like there's just a lot of cool scenes they show off, and yeah, it doesn't give you any details of like the upcoming story, but like I don't know. I was impressed.
I don't need details of the story, like, because this is a teaser. It's not like the first trailer where it's supposed to give you kind of an idea of what the movie's going to be about. But to be honest, like, besides the shot where the AT-ATs are like one of them fallen,
right?
Yeah, like it's falling off the side of the cliff. Which, by the way, like, why are there 3 AT-ATs on a narrow cliff face? I don't know. I don't know why they decided that was the best plan of action.
That was the only way to get to where they needed to go. I mean, clearly, right?
With AT-ATs,
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, like, watching the trailer, it felt like I was just watching the trailer for a new season of The Mandalorian. It didn't feel like I was watching a cinematic version. Like, it didn't feel like I was watching the movie version of The Mandalorian. It felt like I was still tuning in for the new season and the next episode. And
I could agree with you. Sorry, go on.
Well, like the shots that they showed us, it wasn't like we hadn't already seen 3 seasons of what they were kind of showing. They were showing going up against some stormtroopers. They were showing the Baba, whatever, like the little dude, the little alien guys.
They're called Anzellans, I think, or Anzellans. It's the little baby Babu Fricks, or whatever you want to call them. Babu
Fricks. So that's what I was thinking. Like, they show the little Babu Fricks. They show Grogu using the Force a little bit, and
they show some pit fights, which I thought were cool. You got to see Jabba the Hutt's son, Rhoda the Hutt, in the pit.
You didn't. You saw the back of him with his, like, you didn't even see him.
Okay, what you did get to see were like shots of multiple different like monsters / robots, which I thought were really done well. Like the serpent and the monster, and then like the robots in the fighting pit, all looked very practical to me, and like almost like stop motion like. And so that got me excited, because like I love practicality in Star Wars. It feels like the old trilogy, right?
Right.
I don't know. I think there's and I was gonna say earlier, like, I agree with you. Like if you were talking about like season 1 compared to, now, like the visuals don't look drastically different, right? But I think we're forgetting a little bit how bad season 3 looked at points, and how cheesy it looked at points.
It's still no. I genuinely think that genuinely it doesn't have the scale of a movie. It just feels very small, and it just looked very similar to the past seasons in a lot of different ways. The past season, they still looked good, but I'm just saying, a movie, it didn't feel cinematic. Like there's episodes of Andor that looked more cinematic than what this trailer was presenting, and there's nothing in it. Like, we've seen The Mandalorian do all of the things that we've seen in this trailer. If we're going to see a movie of it, and it's a teaser, why can't they show something for us to like, something we've never seen before, can speculate on? Like, I've seen Empire, like I've seen AT-ATs get taken down, which like was a cool shot. I'm not saying it wasn't. Like, it was a good shot, and it was probably the most cinematic, but it was like they lingered on it. It kind of felt like a weird beat, and I don't know. I'm really glad that you like it, because I wanted to be excited, but I'm just not. I'm not super into it. I also feel like again, The Mandalorian and Grogu, I think it's a bad title for a movie, but
well, yeah. Look, here's the thing. I have said countless times that Grogu should have been written out of Mandalorian's life after season 2. Like that should have been it. And now the movie should be just The Mandalorian, which would be incredible, right? But yeah, they've made their decision. They're sticking with it. Grogu's going to stick around with The Mandalorian for forever. And that's his son now, and I just got to learn to live with that. So I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. I guess for me, like the scale of a Western doesn't have to be gigantic, and I think I think they're trying to go back to what the scale of season 1 was. You know what I mean? And yes, at points, season one got gigantic in scale at points because of like the stakes. But we're still fighting the Imperial Remnant. I'm so happy that Moff Gideon it seems to be not in this movie. That's great. Like we're finally getting a new villain. We got yeah. Well, and I think what's a nice change with like this movie compared to like Andor is that, and I know that was a complaint of some people's with Andor, is that no. I was gonna say that there's a lot of human characters and there's not a ton of alien characters, right? In this trailer, we only saw Sigourney Weaver as like the one human character throughout this whole thing. Everyone else was either like, in the Mandalorian costume or an alien. Which is kind of how maybe it's not like, I don't want majority aliens per se, but like I do want that variety because it is such a vast universe, and this is Star Wars, right?
Right.
So I think that's a positive. And also another thing why I feel like this has to be after season 3, is because we see like the Mandalorian go back to that hut that's on that where is it at? It's at the outpost on Adelphi that we got to see in, I think, season 3.
Right. Okay.
And that's where Zeb was in season 3. And that's what makes me think
he's in the movie.
Right. Yeah. Right. So and I think that's why they're going back to the Razor Crest, so that they can have so he can gain a crew. Right. And I think Zeb is going to become a part of like the Mandalorian's crew. But yeah, and maybe they'll carry that out throughout like another movie, like his new crew. And maybe that's why he permanently needs the Razor Crest back. But yeah, I don't know. I don't hate a lot of the decisions in this trailer, and yeah, like I said, I'm decently excited for it.
Yeah, I mean the I'm not going to completely like count it out, because it is Jon Favreau who's directing it, and
he co-wrote it.
And like he more often than not makes really good work. So sure. I'm just not a fan of what I've seen so far. I'd like to get more excited as the trailers come out. So
I'm sure the next one will be more exciting.
Will. Yeah, I hope so. Sure. I really hope so, because otherwise, I'll put it this way: the one image and the cast and director announcements for Star Wars Starfighter has me more excited for that movie than this one, and this one has a trailer.
I think the only reason I'm not as excited about that movie is because of where it takes place in the whole timeline. But other than that, I think it's an exciting concept and an exciting cast. Like I'll agree with you on that. So
yeah,
I am excited about that. It's just a bummer of where it is in that timeline. But whatever. That's the decision they're going with. It seems like we're gonna have a lot of post episode 9 movies. So fun times. But yeah, I think that's our thoughts on the Mandalorian and Grogu's first teaser, I should say.
Right.
But we got for next topic, we got some new details on the upcoming James Bond film that's being developed by Denis Villeneuve. So apparently the casting process is going to start after he finishes Dune 3. So we got ways to wait for that. Also, all the actor kind of reports that we've been hearing seem to be false. Because the new report is that he wants a fresh-faced British actor in his 20s or 30s. So all the actors that we've been hearing are pretty like famous actors at this point.
Right.
So I'd be surprised if it's any of those.
Aaron Taylor Johnson,
Jacob Elordi, Tom Holland.
Jacob Elordi,
right.
Tom Holland.
Yeah. So I think that was Amazon's wish list, and Denis like, I'm not feeling it.
Well,
but yeah,
they want the big name and a bankable, of course, you know.
Right. But also, I guess a key source was saying for this casting, they're like, whoever it is has to look like he could kill you with his bare hands. In a trice is what I don't know what a trice means. I guess in 3 hits, I don't know. Trice. Yeah, so he's got to be, I guess, bulky and young. So I don't think that's any of the actors we've seen so far.
Right.
But yeah, and then the last part about it is that this story could be an origin story, and it could be about how he got recruited to the MI6 and attained his 007 status.
Which is kind of what I was saying a while, episodes back when we were talking about the announcement of Denis Villeneuve as the director. And if you look at Sicario, you could kind of see a blueprint of his time in the Royal Navy and then recruitment status, because he was what was he? He was I forget what rank he was, but like he was in the Navy. Yeah. So he was in the Navy.
Yeah. I know he was in the Navy.
And then he joins X6. So I think that would be pretty cool because you never actually, I don't believe in any of the Bond movies you actually get to see that background with him.
Never. I mean, the closest we ever got to like a young James Bond was in Casino Royale with Daniel Craig, where we got to see him literally go on his first mission.
Right.
So yeah, I'm very down for this. It's definitely a new idea. It has been done in the books before. So I heard about this book called Forever in a Day. And it's apparently set like in the 1950s, and it serves as like a prequel to the Casino Royale book. But apparently, like after the death of the like previous 007, he gets, promoted to MI6, and he has to like go and investigate the murder of his previous title. I don't know, like I would love to see like I've said it before, but I would love to see a period piece James Bond.
Right.
And maybe for like the next movie after this to go into the 60s, where we fully know James Bond originally, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I feel like I understand if they want to keep it modern.
Sure. I do too.
Up until this point, like he has been nothing but a reflection of the time period that the movie's made.
Right.
And so I don't know how they would feel about looking back, but James Bond almost feel like I like the Daniel Craig movies a lot. I do, but like let's not pretend that the things that were so classically Bond felt like they worked really well, and like the silhouette and like the characterization of Bond in the 60s felt like
a little more natural.
The time period just feels like it went with the character so well, and that's why something like what was that Henry Cavill Armie Hammer movie that they did together?
Was it like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. or something? Or
The Man from U.N.C.L.E., right? So like it felt like that was very James Bond-esque without actually being James Bond, and it's the same thing from like that Steve Carell movie where he's a spy. That was like an old
Get Smart.
Get Smart. Like that was an old I think from back in the day, like 50s and 60s.
Yeah, it was.
So all of that stuff like really fits that time period. And so like I would love to see it. I would, in general, just love to see him get the recruitment story kind of thing. Like, I think I would want half the movie to, like, at least half the movie be when he's like 007. But I would like to see a period of time where he's being recruited for one reason or not. Even if we just open up with him like doing a Navy mission and like something goes wrong or he has to do a particular thing, you know.
I would love for all of Act 1 to be in the Navy. I think that'd be great.
Sure. Like, I'd be down for it.
Absolutely.
And then regarding having like a fresh face actor, I think it's probably the way to go. I mean, when you look at Luke Skywalker and nobody knew who Mark Hamill was, and like even more recently looking at David Cornsweet for Superman, and
sure, he was already kind of popular, but I feel you.
Most people didn't know who he was.
Agreed. Right.
And I think casting whoever's most best for the role is always go instead of it on some name recognition or draw. And so, you know, I think it's the way to go. You know, it's easier to in a certain degree, it's easier to accept like the new Bond as somebody we're not, you know, so familiar with. I don't really think that matters that much, but it is a little bit easier.
No.
And to be honest, there's not a lot of names that I can think of in their late 20s and early 30s that are big name actors at this time that also British that I
super
think
bulky.
could kill you with his bare hands. Like, I don't think Jacob Elordi is screaming can kill you with his bare hands.
No, he'd have to put on
not that he couldn't at some point, but you know,
not right now. Yeah,
right.
I mean, I guess whoever they cast has like, I don't know, 2 years to prepare for this thing.
Right. No, like if you can see Chris Pratt from being Parks and Rec Andy into Star-Lord. Or even most recently look at Borat.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Like, did you see him on the cover of Men's Health a month or two ago?
But I mean, even him as like, you know,
Mephisto.
Borat to Mephisto.
He got bulked up.
Yeah. Okay. He got bulked up for Mephisto. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Ripped.
Well,
he said in the interview, like, I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff with Mephisto. So I got ripped for it. And I was like,
gotcha.
And so, I mean, like, I think whoever it is, like, it's not like, and like, again, David Cornsweet, you look at him before he did Superman, like, tall guy, maybe not super like beefed up, but then, you know, it was like egg yolks, like 12 egg yolks a day, and then he's fucking, you know, so.
Yeah. No, you're right. Maybe not anybody, but there are people who can really bulk up and it looks natural. So.
Right.
But I think like Tom Holland bulking up, you know, I don't know if you're going to get the look you want. You know what I mean?
Tom Holland, like, I love Tom Holland, but he's not, I don't think he's a good fit for James Bond, the same way that I don't think that he was a good fit for Nathan Drake.
No, I definitely agree with Nathan Drake, because like Tom isn't like to me that's like an 18 or 19-year-old Nathan Drake, right? And like he's not growing much past where he's at now. Like
he does look like noticeably older now.
I agree. He does look like he's in his late 20s, which I'm happy about. Like, he's got a little age on his face. But he's still always going to be that height. He's still always going to have like this, like a similar type of build. Like, he's like, Nathan Drake isn't like, in the next movie, if they ever do one, he's not going to like grow magically. He's still going to look like Tom Holland, you know?
Right.
And that's where I have a problem with it. But, you know.
Well,
It is what it is.
and this isn't like a bad thing at all. Like
Yeah.
but he does have more of a boyish look, and I think when you think of James Bond and Nathan Drake, they don't have to be like macho masculine necessarily, but they have a little bit more of a traditional like square jaw.
That's
like,
exactly what I was gonna say. Square jaw.
And honestly, like I can't, like James Bond's like womanizer in a lot of ways, and
right.
It would feel, not that you can't be a womanizer and look a little boyish, I suppose, but it would look, I feel like it would be very strange to have somebody like Tom Holland trying like being a bit of a womanizer, even if that's not like maybe the best thing to be, but it does feel like that's a big part of James Bond's. You know, you can change it a little bit, but like he loves women. Like, I mean, that's a big part of his.
Yeah.
Whereas like Tom's a bit more, he just seems like he's more of like a gentleman, and you know, even like the Peter Parker, like it's just, I don't know. So
yeah, and it could just be also too that like he's really cemented himself as Peter Parker in our eyes, and it's hard to see him as like Peter Parker and James Bond, you know, because that's just two completely different characters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't know. You probably shouldn't cast the same person for both of those roles, but that's just me. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's all we had to say on this new James Bond details.
Right.
It's aiming to release in 2028, so we still got like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years till this thing comes out. So I think I said this last time when we had a James Bond topic, but I was like, let's not hold our breaths on any more news. But then we quickly got more news. So
right.
We could get some more news soon. Who knows? But our next topic, going to Marvel, the Russo brothers, or I guess Joe Russo himself, dropped a image from the Avengers Doomsday set, and I think, what was the caption? Like, look hard, look closely, something like that.
Look hard.
Look hard. Yeah. Now I don't know if I have any theories for this, but I think you might have some theories you want to divulge into.
Yeah. So this image is it's a black and white image of them, of Joe Russo on set, supposedly on set of Doomsday, and it's very reminiscent to a black and white image that came out when before Endgame came out.
Right. They asked everyone to like predict the title, and right.
Yeah, and so through a lot of deduction and trying really hard to find words in the image that they put, which I mean, props to them. I don't know how they found a way to make an image spell out a word, kind of.
So you saw a whole word.
No, I'm saying an Endgame, like the Endgame photo.
Gotcha.
Like it literally, it's not perfect. Like I wouldn't say it's like, oh yeah, that totally spelled, but like people were like having theories and would draw it out. And I think you could be like, well, I mean, maybe. And then it turns out to be right.
Right.
So people are like, okay, so that's true. Now they have this other image, and they're very blatantly asking fans to try to find the meaning in this image. Right. And so it's just Joe sitting in a chair. I don't know if the angle of his body has any indication, if it's supposed to add to the symmetry. I don't know. There's so many things going on, or so many areas to look in this image. And I do have at least 2 theories about it.
I guess I technically do have one theory. I mean, the one thing here is that I could be wrong, but I don't think they're trying to spell anything out like a particular word, because like that, like they did it for Endgame because they didn't want to like drop the title, and they wanted us to like figure the title out, right? We already know the title of this movie. Right. So I think they're trying to tell us something differently.
Right.
So like the only thing that I saw was that like you had the very like obvious A on the left, and then the entire wall on the right is like X's. So I'm thinking like Avengers versus X-Men, maybe. I don't know.
Right. So that's one of the theories. That's one of the theories. Is the big? I'll pull up the image here so I can better describe it. Or maybe I won't pull up the image because it's not coming up. But yeah, like that big
wall of something. You said
wall kind of leaned over. That's propped up. Kind of looks like an A. And then if you kind of want to like compare that with like going off the A downward towards Joe and then up again, that could be a V, and then the rails on the right, the image could be X. Avengers versus X-Men. That's the actual title of the movie. Who knows? Maybe it's not Doomsday after all.
I'd be a little surprised, but yeah.
I would like to suggest a third theory.
Wait, what was your second one?
Sorry, I would like to suggest a second theory.
Okay, there we go.
The number three is very important for this theory. Okay. So there's a spotlight, and it's on the rails on the right side. It's directly pointing on rails to the right side.
Okay.
Those rails kind of look like A's.
Okay.
So there are three, and it illuminates three of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's three A's that are illuminated on the rails. Now, I would like to present this theory. We know that the Marvel movie that was originally supposed to come out between Doomsday and Secret Wars just got removed. I would like to present the theory that we are going to get 3 Avengers movies.
Oh, interesting. So you're thinking there's an unreleased Avengers movie in the middle of these 2 movies?
They have enough material that they've shot that they said, no, we're going to do 3 of them. You're going to get a whole year of Avengers movies.
A whole year.
They're lighting up 3 A's over here.
So hold on. Describe to me where the light is again in this photo.
So do you see the spot? Do you see the circle spotlight in the middle of the image? Look where it's pointing. Look where it's pointing on that wall. And it's got. And if you look at the rails below that. Well, no, like you see how there's a middle beam going fully across. Horizontally underneath there. It almost looks like 3 Avengers A's, and they're lit up.
Oh, I do see that. That's interesting. That's very interesting. It's literally, I mean, that's not a bad theory. Why
did that date get moved? Now, I know that they said that the Simpsons Part 2 might get there, but what if it's Avengers Part 2?
I like this theory a lot because literally,
ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present 3 Avengers movies.
I think it's a better theory than what I had because like
Avengers versus X-Men.
Correct, because I think literally in the center of the entire screen is the spotlight. And the spotlight is aiming to the 3 A's. It's shining on the 3 A's. I don't know, dog. Like
I think you.
Yeah, I mean, they have an unknown film set on that day. So
that was moved. They took it off.
Like they
had a movie that was that was going to be there, and now it's not going to be there.
It's not going to be there now, right?
There's the report that the teaser or whatever announcement trailer is going to play in front of Avatar Fire and Ash.
Okay.
What if it's an announcement and it's that there's going to be 3 Avengers movies coming? next year?
I hope they don't do it in front of or like at Fire and Ash, because like I think what would be so cool is, and I think maybe that is the way to do it, because like my thought would be, oh, you just at the very end of Doomsday, you're like the next movie isn't Secret Wars. You're like the Avengers will appear in, and then you'll bring up a new title, right? But at that point, everything is getting spoiled online because nobody knows how to keep their mouth shut in the first weekend.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's the problem with that. But yeah, that would be. I would love that, honestly, like a trilogy of Avengers movies to end out like this era of the MCU. I'm down. I'm very down. I hope you're right, Zach. I hope you're right, because that is a great theory. It's one that I hadn't seen.
I think it could be. Be. I mean, now I'd still like to posit that this could very well be AVX. I think that's a little too easy to decipher, honestly.
The Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah. I mean, there had been some comments about like maybe what's going on at the top of that like wall that's leaned over. And I still like to say,
I saw somebody say that was Doom.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe, but there might. I'm not gonna put all my cards, on that it's 3 Avengers movies. There might actually be something else going on here. I just haven't seen any theories yet.
Yeah,
which I was kind of surprised about, to be honest. But I don't know. I gotta.
Yeah, I almost feel like maybe that A is there in the beginning to like throw you off, Yeah,
that's what I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna stick with my 3 Avengers movies.
Yep, that's the new number one theory.
Because it's somebody else like because it's like what. We already know the title, unless they're going to plan on changing it to Avengers versus X-Men, which they could. I mean, we did just get like Thunderbolts. Actually, it's
the new Avengers, right?
It's the new Avengers.
It's just like this is already like they've already retitled it once. Like I would be surprised if they retitle it again. But they can do what they want. It's like, they're making money. Well, they're not making a ton of money, but yeah.
Or it's that the second movie is Avengers versus X-Men.
Could be two meanings in there.
Right.
Wow. That's a cool theory too. That's a neat one. God, what if that's I hope that's the theory, man. I hope that's right. I hope it's right. But yeah, exciting.
We'll see.
I guess we'll see in December when Fire and Ash releases. So and then maybe not there, then I don't know when. But hopefully it's December. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, our next topic, we got some comments from Matt Reeves on the Batman Part 2. He confirmed that this was an Elseworlds movie, but he also said, talked about the villain of this movie, that it hasn't been done before, really. And I don't have the exact quote, but I remember him saying recently too that like the I guess the story delves into places that like even Batman wouldn't expect, and like it's also very much like a Bruce Wayne story. So like I have like 2 theories. I mean, like there's one very obvious theory to me, right? Which is like the Court of Owls. That feels like a villain where you are going to delve into places you didn't expect, right? That's like the whole point, almost the Court of Owls. And my other one, which I think, funny enough, I said like forever ago when we were like theorizing about like villains and who we would want as as the next villain. My other one's Hush. And I don't know if you know a lot about Hush.
No, I know a lot about Hush.
Yeah. So, but like to me, like that's a strong one because like it's Bruce Wayne's childhood best friend, and that could like really delve into Bruce's personal life, right?
Right.
So I don't know if you have any other theories yourself.
Well, so just by saying that it hasn't really been done before kind of rules out quite a lot of characters.
Sure.
I'm with you. I think that the Court of Owls is definitely going to happen. I don't know if it'll be like the main villain, but it could be in part like in tandem with the quote unquote main villain. But I think that there's reason to believe, and I really don't think that it's just like a nod and an Easter egg, that in literally one of the clips that I think the Riddler was playing regarding how the Wayne's renewal project was coming about and all the background that went into it, that when they were talking about that a reporter, I think it was a reporter, had like knew about something regarding knew about Martha, his mom, being in Arkham, and that it was gonna like cause his like Thomas Wayne's campaign to go down, that he asked like Falcone to like, could you like maybe just get him to shut up?
Right.
But then that turned into him murdering him. And on that clip, it literally says Hush. And we are also talking about, I forget whose name, it was like Jonathan Elliott or something, but it was literally last name Elliott, and they got killed. And
wow.
Hush's name is Tommy Elliott. What if he like was pissed that, and he blamed Bruce and his whole family that he got, his uncle or his dad or whoever killed.
Right.
And not only that, if we wanted to make it an even more exciting thing for like our actors, one of the things is he has his face bandaged up, partially because, he became a surgeon, a very skilled surgeon. And it's kind of like a nod to like, he's using the gauze to cover up his face to hide his identity. Could just be played by another actor for sure. It could, and that he plays Tommy Elliott, or there is also the times where he has reconstructed his face to look like Bruce Wayne.
Damn, dude.
And then that would be Pattinson to play another character, and he's like a fucked up version of that. He
would so kill it. Yeah, all right. Well, you sold me on this theory. Now I want this movie. I really like the idea of the scale of Court of Owls, but like,
and then he could be a part of it, in a way.
Sure.
Like
in a way.
He could be like joined up with them. Like the family goes deep. Like the Elliots are still like, or like a bigger name in Gotham, and he has, and they're like, okay, well, we'll, if you want to get power and if you want to get revenge and whatever, like, or like he wasn't allowed to do anything because of some like ancient Gotham code of ethics or something with all the families. Like, who knows? But
man, I like Hush now, maybe more than Court of Owls. But I wouldn't like, yeah, it'd be cool if they're combined, but I don't mind them being separate either. So I think
the only other options, it's like, Bowles, Azrael, that feels weird. I don't really feel like I see like an Azrael in this world. I don't feel like it makes a lot of sense. There is still the thought of a Deathstroke. I could be a Deathstroke.
Haven't we kind of done Deathstroke? I mean,
no, we've actually never really done a Deathstroke.
I guess not in a movie. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I guess the only live action he's ever been in actually is like at the very end of Batman v Superman, and then in Titans.
And Arrow.
Oh, he was an Arrow? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Yeah. Not all of it, but yeah.
Was the Deathstroke good in that, or?
I from the first then. Yeah, pretty cool. But
I don't know. Yeah, I almost feel like Deathstroke. He's not enough of a Batman villain to me for me to want him over Hush or the Court of Owls. I feel like he's. I don't know. I feel like I've also heard that he's been linked to Green Arrow before. Before the show, and he's very linked to the Titans, in multiple stories. So I'm I'd rather him just kind of stay over in that lane. And I just don't think it's Deathstroke is great. It is great.
But if you got some of that Ben Affleck script, they took a look at that Ben Affleck script that never got made.
I do wish we had. Well, do I wish we had gotten that? Because if we had gotten that,
yes, I do wish I got that.
But Zach, we probably wouldn't have gotten the Batman if that was made.
We don't.
From what I know, he got the Batman because there was a void in the Batman movie being made, right?
But I hear you. Right. But that's also to say, what if we got a Ben Affleck directed Batman with Ben Affleck's Batman and he fights Deathstroke?
Look, yeah, it would be awesome. I think it would have been a top 3 DC EU movie. But I don't know. They effed up with the story so badly in Justice League that he just didn't want to keep doing it. So
yeah, I mean, I'm happy with what we got, but one day I would really like to know what that script looked like.
I would agree. I'd love to read that script. But yeah, I think we got a solid winner here for who we think is going to be. Because
I've spent time with this one.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. But it's cool that if it is true, they were literally setting up that villain from the first movie, which is so exciting. That's great, great writing.
I hope it's true. I hope it's true.
Me too. Lastly, though, we're gonna stick with DC. James Gunn's made some comments about the universe in the last few weeks, and there's a few of them we wanted to talk about. I guess the first one being that we had I guess a discussion about who the villain would be when we dropped the last podcast episode, because it was Man of Tomorrow and it was a Lex and Superman story. He dropped the first look at the Man of Tomorrow script. And there was an image of a anatomical head, looking into inside with a brain in it. Right.
Right.
And I mean, I think he even acknowledged it that he's I think people can pull some obvious things from that. So, I mean, it very much looks like the Brainiac theory could be true.
Right.
I'm not sure why you would have that otherwise on there, other than Lex's smarts and brains. Right. But
right. Yeah. I've also feel like I've seen them say you can pull what you want from it. Okay. And
maybe that's what I was thinking.
If you want to look at it, he knows what he's doing. He knows that most scripts do not have any image on the front of them. He particularly put an image there for a reason. Mm-hmm. And from what I've heard, the Man of Tomorrow movie is basically Superman, Lex, and it's the metahumans, the government officials,
right,
and some other entity. And And could that be a Brainiac? Like, I mean, it very much looks could be. But I don't know. We will. It feels like we'll see at the end of Peacemaker.
Season 2.
Season 2, where that might go. Could it be like the Brainiac is a being that goes from all throughout different dimensions? Maybe he collects from all sorts of different worlds. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know. Or it could be like I don't know where that Lex and Rick Flag, team up goes into.
Spoilers for episode 6 of Peacemaker.
Well, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. But I mean, who doesn't know at this point? But
I mean, people who aren't dedicated DC fans, for sure.
Okay. Well,
sure.
Then they probably aren't listening to this.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I would like to posit maybe who is the man of tomorrow? Could it be we want to create a metahuman that can be controlled by the? I know they've already tried it a little bit with Ultraman, but what if you got the brains of Lex Luthor in the body of a Superman, and you get
that's literally
we've never seen a Superboy.
That's literally what I was gonna say. That's literally Superboy. And that's a strong theory too, Zach. I mean, like, not that I could ever see Superman like trusting Lex or condoning that happen,
but he already got his DNA.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. But the movie is them two like reluctantly working together, right? I'd be surprised to see a third person like come into that duo. And secondly, like, for them to be reluctantly working together, I can't imagine that Superman would be at all okay with working with Lex if he stole his DNA and made a new being based off of him, right? And on both of their genes, right? Plus, I'm not sure it fully lines up with like where Lex is right now because he's so self-obsessed. I don't think him combining his DNA with Superman would prove anything to him or to the world, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. It's just kind of.
It's just a. It's.
But I love Superboy. Yeah.
And again, the only other one would be starts with a P. Pink. It's like it turns into a pink monster and he absorbs all the energy. I can't think of it right now.
Pink monster.
It's not Parallax. It's.
A villain.
Yeah, I forget his name, but it's a Superman villain. I have to look at the mounting evidence that it probably is Brainiac.
Probably.
But it just kind of bums me out because I feel like now I'm sure it'll be done really well, but like I want Brainiac's like a big villain. You know what I mean? Like.
Maybe this is a big movie. I mean,
yeah, maybe
because like we already are getting big things with Peacemaker, right? Like I think in these landmark like movies or like I don't know what you would call it, like monumental movies for DC, we're going to get like major developments or like changes to the universe. And I think like what better villain to bring like a huge change to like the DC universe, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, because it could also be like it could also be something else in the sense that from what I'm gathering, the metahumans for the first time have done something that has never really been done before until Superman, which was interfere and decide on their own what they want to do and decide the world's politics and what happens between countries.
Right.
And it seems like the government, especially what that official said to Rick Flag, which was, I hope you're cool with the metahumans deciding how things go down now. So it makes me feel like, why wouldn't they try to develop something
like a deterrent almost? Right.
What if the plan is Lex creates something or starts something that
can beat the strongest metahuman in the world? Right.
Well, no, it's a problem. That's a problem, and he can rehabilitate his image.
Oh, that's what you mean. Gotcha.
He starts the problem. Nobody knows that he did it except him and the government. And then they're like, okay, you know how to beat it. You make us look like the ones that can actually handle things and the right thing, and not metahumans. Right. You look good. We look good. We stop having to, just do what the metahumans do.
Right.
Right.
I could see that. I could also see it being like the suit they're teasing, right? It was in all three of those like drawn images from comic book artists, right?
Right.
What if he originally made that suit to kill Superman, right? And then Brainiac conveniently comes in and they're like, okay, you got to pull a hole in that plan for a while. We need you two to like go and kill Brainiac.
Yeah. I am also curious because, spoiler, you've been warned. Why is Lex walking around with a limp and a cane? What's going on there? Is it just because he got banged up by Crypto? Or?
Yeah, I think he got really beat up by Crypto. I mean, what else happened to him?
Did he get sick with something? I don't know.
Or did somebody inside the only thing that's gonna beat him up? I don't know.
Did he have anal sex with with one of the metahumans in there?
Yeah. Well, he loves metahumans, so I'm sure that happened. But yeah, I think the other part of James Gunn's comments we wanted to talk about here, they kind of go together to me. So he says that a lot of the Peacemaker characters from this season are going to continue into another DC show that isn't season 3 of Peacemaker. He's like, I'm not ruling out Peacemaker season 3, but you'll see episode 8 and maybe you'll find out a little bit more. And he also said that G.I. Robot is coming into live action, and not necessarily in Peacemaker season 2. So to me, both of those, I think it means that Waller is like right around the corner. The show that they announced in part 1 of Gods and Monsters. I think that's the only other show that makes sense for those characters to appear in. And, Waller has already had interaction, like development with G.I. Robot. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where he shows up too, in like Belle Reve again, or if she's in Belle Reve. I don't know. I know she got outed, so maybe she wouldn't be back at Belle Reve. But
maybe,
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe the Waller show is that she like the 11th Street kids, something happens where they are tied up in Earth X, and Waller like, why do I gotta do everything myself? She's like, come on, G.I. Robot, let's go kill some Nazis.
That'd be crazy. That's a cool way to like bridge the gap there.
Waller's like this like she's like this I like the same way that like Shaq is like this like I'm a black action hero, like going to like fuck some people up, and it's like it's just it's Viola Davis like beating and killing a bunch of Nazis show.
I wouldn't hold on. Well,
I don't know if that's what.
I don't know if that'll happen.
They might resolve everything with the Nazi world.
Probably. Probably.
But
here's the thing. I don't hate it. I think I can't imagine that show turning into an action show for Amanda Waller / Viola Davis. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. There's
It'd be
no
pretty
way.
sick.
It would be sick, but Viola
sick.
Davis isn't doing an action show. Yeah,
I agree. That's the show on the surface that seems the most likely to transfer over.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Well, maybe there'll be something that happens in episode 8 that brings her back in some form or fashion.
Yeah, because they keep mentioning her. You know, she's not like a character that's just been like written out of the universe.
Right. The only other thought is maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
I could see a Harcourt or a John Economos showing up in a Lanterns potentially.
Well, but he did say like many of the characters will return.
Or
so
the other one could be like Booster Gold.
That's what I was thinking. Like where he comes to the universe and they kind of intercept him and they're like, what's going on? Why are you here? You know?
Yeah. But the only thing against that is I feel like if he already knows that they're going to be in another show and he's saying that, then this show needed to have been in development for some time. So it's one of the shows that was announced before, and it's Waller, or it's something that's been worked that hasn't been announced. The same way that like Man of Tomorrow was worked on, and then it wasn't a part of the original lineup, but it got pushed forward.
Because like, to me, I don't know if Waller, like, for this theory that I'm about to say, like, I'm not sure Waller makes sense because my thought is like maybe at the end of Peacemaker season 2, the 11th Street kids, like most of them or all of them, get thrown into Belle Reve because they were like all involved in this extraterrestrial portal or whatever you want to call it. And that's where G.I. Robot is. So they're all in Belle Reve prison.
Yeah.
But Waller wouldn't be there. So who's going to Belle Reve after this in a show? Well, because she's not in charge of Task Force X anymore.
I know, but she's in prison.
I guess she could be in Belle Reve. That'd be hilarious.
She would be. That's
really funny. I mean, maybe that's how she breaks out of Belle Reve.
I'm saying all the events happen. Maybe like Peacemaker and Harcourt are like, I love you too, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they escape only to be like caught by Rick Flag, put in Belle Reve, and then they're sharing a cell next to Amanda Waller. And then it's like, you fucking 5 again.
That's it. That's the theory. That's the best thing we've come up with so far. Is they all get thrown into Belle Reve with Amanda Waller and they all escape prison. Boom. Or it's a Belle Reve show and Amanda Waller is the title of the show. I don't know. Which I wouldn't hate that. I mean, I think Belle Reve is pretty interesting. And Task Force X and all that. So
yeah. Or it's like, okay, you guys can get in the good graces of the U.S. government again, but you gotta work with some inmates that have also that we can use for special forces, and it's like either like a creature commando sort of thing, or it's like you're on detail with like Amanda Waller or something like that, or it's like some sick.
I do know like the hurdle.
Rick Flag's still pissed off, but he's like, all right, fine, you guys are in charge of Waller then,
Yeah, I mean the hurdle would be like, I know in Creature Commandos they specifically were like, we can't use human subjects anymore.
Yeah,
but Rick Flag could change that. He's the head of Argus.
He's the head of Argus.
So
unless it was the U.S. government that. You can't, but I can't remember.
Yeah, but I can't. I don't know. I don't know why the U.S. government would even care, to be honest.
Like they just thought that it was fucked up. I think.
I guess, yeah. No, I mean it is effed up. because Waller was just like literally sacrificing people if she wanted to. But I really hope this Waller show happens. I think Viola Davis as Waller is like one of the best castings of the DCEU, and I'm glad they're bringing her over to the DCU. Yeah. So if that's the case, that'll make my day for sure.
It's a Quinn show with Margot Robbie, and she shows up at the end of the finale.
I'd rather Waller, to be honest. That's just me,
Margot Robbie.
Look, she's great.
Pretty good.
I think she's great. I'd just rather see her in the movies than a show. That's just me. I don't know.
I hear you.
But yeah, I think that is the end of our podcast, the end of everything we wanted to talk about here. So as always, thank you guys for watching and listening. If you want to listen in the future or watch in the future, we release these bi-weekly, and sometimes we do reviews bi-weekly as well, or weekly. If you want to check us out on our social medias, those links are in the description below as well. And if you want to give us a like, a comment, a rating, a review, or subscribe, we greatly appreciate it.
Until next time.